What's going on, guys? This is Hit You Good, and today we're receiving some very early news from the wonderfully renowned Mr. Tom Henderson from his YouTube channel and his Twitter feed, saying that the next installment of the Call of Duty franchise, which would be Modern Warfare 2, the new one, that's roughly probably about 11 months away from being, released, we could indeed see some old school Modern Warfare 2 maps from way back in 2009. And to this news, I have to say that I would be elated. It would be so awesome to be able to load into Terminal or Afghan or any of those old maps, especially Quarry. I love that, and be able to actually, slide cancel around, take advantage of some of the updated movement mechanics that these newer game engines have introduced to us, better graphics, and also kind of go back in time and relive some of the nostalgia of these maps that we all grew up loving. Now, talking about nostalgia, if you think that you'd enjoy this and enjoy kind of going back to these old games, I definitely recommend some of my retro review videos. I'll put my Modern Warfare 2 in 2022 review there in the card above. Check that out. Let me know how you like it, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date with other reviews that I've got in store. But back to the news of Call of Duty 2022. All these updates are subject to change. Just want to let you know that, so you want to take them with a grain of salt, considering this is so far out. It almost seems silly to be pontificating about what the 2022 Modern Warfare 2 might have in store, but Tom Henderson claims to have seen some pre-alpha gameplay and is currently impressed with how it looks. He even stated that this may follow in the footsteps of the original Modern Warfare 2 in the way of making controversial headlines with the way that the campaign seems to be unfolding and some of the decisions that you'll have to be making in said campaign. In the CoD 2019 game, there were some pretty harrowing and, let's be honest, there's some pretty weighty moments of that game, just doing what had to be done to get the job done, to finish the mission, and I hope that we see some more of that to really bring weight and add value to the franchise, add value to the campaign, actually give us a reason of why we're going in and shooting the bad guys, who are these people, put some reasoning behind it, put some weight behind it, instead of it just kind of being a shooting gallery, as we saw with Vanguard. Speaking of Vanguard, while multiplayer isn't even willing to name names, name teams, it's just my team versus enemy team, which is ridiculous. They're too afraid to say it's the Germans. I'm hoping the next installment will totally do away with that and not have such a childish, censored outlook. So, this is the first CoD in a while that will truly have the 3-year production cycle, so hopefully they're going to have their crap together a little bit more than Sledgehammer Games did with Vanguard, and hopefully this introduction won't completely wreck the previous titles like they've done with CoD 2019, of which, as of this day, they still haven't fixed, which to me is absolutely, utterly insane. You're charging people $60, it's still for sale, and it's broken. You can hardly play it. But anyways, I digress. Tom goes on to say that he heard from the devs that they plan to introduce some of the older maps in CoD Modern Warfare 2, and they'll have a significant presence in the third game mode of the DMZ, the Demilitarized Zone, and Tom seems to think that this is going to be more of an escape from Tarkov kind of vibe than a Hazard Zone style of gameplay. So thank goodness for that, for real. These older original maps will serve as POIs in larger maps. They'll be expanded on, built upon, and I'm hoping that this isn't just their only purpose. It'll be kind of neat to go through some of these other game modes and kind of recognize where you are. But surely, if you've got all these assets anyways, I'd figure that you'd go ahead and feed that into the multiplayer and add value to that. So, according to Tom, Afghan, Quarry, Terminal, and Trailer Park stand a chance at not only being introduced into the multiplayer, but the same assets used in the new Warzone map for 2023. Now, some of these may not be available as soon as the game is introduced, but I'm looking forward to them being implemented in later seasons. After the, in my opinion, the joke that was Vanguard, I've got a video coming about that soon. I'm definitely ready to get back to Modern Warfare setting. Modern Warfare 2019 was exactly what brought me back to the franchise. I loved that game. It wasn't a bunch of wall-running super soldiers. It was very realistic, and I felt like I'm a part of a team in a lot of those campaign missions, and felt the same way in the multiplayer. So I'm really looking forward to Modern Warfare 2 at the end of this year. So let me know in the comments below which maps that you want to see, which ones you'd like to go back to with a new engine, new graphics, new movement mechanics, and don't forget to check out my Modern Warfare 2 in 2022 review. It is definitely sure to take you back in time. But other than that, God bless and happy gaming.
You're good, bruh.